Welcome to Master the Game. I am Juice, and today we are helping one member of my Discord with a question he had. Is there anything you can think of to help players remember the details of an area of battle? So let's get started. So I have a member on my Discord who posed the question, is there anything you can think of that would help a game of D&D with players that can't remember area details? I have a bunch of battle maps ready to print. I'll be getting miniatures. Anything else? My mom has forgot my name and birthday several times. She is one of the players. I have a bunch of full-size battle maps the size of a small poster. There are about 8 sheets of printed paper, 4 wide, 2 long. I was thinking I should get some condition rings and maybe some tokens or very cheap miniatures of the different monsters, bandits, goblins, and wolves. So, Pixel God, you're talking about your players not remembering details of the battle area. I think using a grid and map is more than appropriate. I think that'll help them. And if there's anything of note, you can always draw something on the map with some dry erase markers, or even just get like a little piece of paper and put a token there or something like that. Whether it's crates, you can make little crates, little terrain, things like that. And it'll really, one, help them get immersed in what's going on. And it'll also make it easy for them to remember, oh, I can get cover behind this rock over here or behind this tree and things like that. So that's one simple thing you can do. Now, you mentioned getting condition rings and things like that. One of the things that you can also do is use some initiative tents over your DM screen. And if they're laminated, you can just write on them again with dry erase marker. You can laminate it if you want with some packing tape if you don't have a way to laminate it. And that will work really well. Just take a piece, put it over the front, put a piece over the back, and then fold your tent and put it over it. That's one of the things I would consider doing. But ultimately, what's the harm in them not remembering every detail? I think some DMs can give too much information at times, and some can give too little explanation. Now, I don't know how you describe your encounters and the scenery in your settings. Me personally, I don't like long, flowery text. If it's not important, I don't want to hear a whole 2 paragraphs of what is going on in the setting around it. Now, if there's puzzles that you like to incorporate into your game, every now and then you do want to give some flavor text because you don't want them to be like, oh, he's talking about a lot in this scene. We really do need to pay attention because this is probably a puzzle. You don't want that kind of metagaming happening. So I would love it when a DM is more to the point. If the smell matters, maybe the smell is a hint to something coming up, like maybe it's a certain creature that just is filthy. And so you start talking about the rotted food smell or whatever. Maybe giving explanation of how dark and damp it is important because now, again, you're hinting at the types of monsters in this dungeon, or maybe even the hazards of the slippery slopes because it's damp and there's a lot of slopes and you can slip crawling, climbing down things or whatever. So again, I like sticking to just the important details of things. I don't need to know about the design on the clay pot in the corner if the history of the make of the pot doesn't matter. That's just a little much at times. Now, there are players who like that. There are some players who love lots of flowery and flavorful descriptions of things. And I don't think I'm one of them. In fact, I find myself kind of tuning out about halfway through descriptions when that's the case. If your mother is one of your players and she forgets things pretty easily, keep it short and simple. And I think you'll find that by keeping it short and simple, it'll make it a lot easier. Now, there's other things you could do as well. If you've read off the description of the room, you could always just print out, like type it up, print it out, put it on a little note card. And then once you describe the room, just give the note card to the players. And that way, if they have a question, they can just ask for the note card and they're not disrupting everything to figure out what they're going to do or what they want to do. It could be a lot of work if you have a lot of rooms and a lot of descriptive texts, but that's one thing that's going to help you. One, it'll help you with notes because you'll just always have these in there and you'll know exactly what happened last session, especially if you keep them in order as they happen. And it'll be easier for the players, to just go through it and be like, oh, okay. So that's something I've never seen done. So I don't know how well it would actually work, but it's something that I thought about when you had originally asked the question. When you run your session, I'd love to hear what little things you tried and how you think it went, because we can all learn from this. So please share it in the Discord. And if any of you are watching this and are not part of the Discord, I will link to it in the pinned post below. It is in the description, so you can come on over there and join in the conversations we have about RPGs, mechanics. You can join in on the new Master the Game Organized Play, where basically it's drop in and play players. We stream it on Twitch, so you could do that. If you can't make it the next time, it's not a big deal. We'll have somebody else fill the spot, and that's just kind of how it goes. It's episodic, so you don't have to play every session. It's very low commitment, and it makes it easier for the players. So if this is your first time here, I hope you will smash that subscribe button, hammer that like button, leave a comment below. What do you do to help your players who don't remember the fine details of your descriptions of areas, whether it's encounters or locations, or even just descriptions of your NPCs or villains, or not even just that, it could be anything in the game. What do you do that you have found helps your players? I'd love to hear about it in the comments below. This was Master the Game. I am Juice. Game on.